David Berlin, Executive Editor at ZDNet, and I'm here again to talk to you about another uncomfortable subject. This one is the mockery of international standards setting. Now, this saga begins with your documents, okay? So imagine you have this little document and you've got some text on it, maybe some images, and you want to save it. Well, today, you have two choices now. You can either save it to the open document format, we'll call that ODF, or you can save that to Microsoft's file format, which is, for the sake of keeping it simple, we'll call it MSOXML. Okay? The reason I make these different sizes is because it sort of represents the adoption in the marketplace of these file formats. Microsoft has a huge amount of support for their file formats by virtue of the fact that everybody is using MS Office. Now, there's really only one product that supports Microsoft's file formats, while in the ODF world, you have many supporters, IBM, Sun, Novell, and others, but the products that support ODF are relatively low in terms of adoption. So that's why these circles are two different sizes. Now, both companies or both organizations realized that they needed to figure out a way to get more adoption and fend each other off from taking over the other. So the open document format, a file format specification, was put through an organization called OASIS. This is a standard-setting consortium. It's where lots of vendors get together, like IBM, Sun, and Novell, and they work on things together, and they produce something called a specification. And earlier in 2005, they started to move that specification into an organization called the ISO. Now, ISO stands for the International Organization of Standardization. I don't know why they call it ISO. Maybe they should call it iOS? Okay, well, we'll leave that for a different day. But at the time that Microsoft saw that these file formats were starting to stand a chance of becoming an international standard, they realized they needed to make their file formats an international standard. So they found an organization that could speed things up. That organization is called ECMA. ECMA has this unique status with the ISO that it can put any specification that comes through it on a fast track. Picture a little race car, and here's a race car, right into the ISO. So now, here we are today, 2006, and sure enough, Microsoft's file format is also going into the ISO in a way that we're going to probably end up with two standards that do the same thing for your documents. This, my friends, is a mockery of international standard setting, and you know what they say, the best thing about standards is there's so many of them.